Hi guys, we are here and back again for another genus feature video, and for today I want to talk about all of my philodendrons, and the same thing that I did past video. If you have not seen, I had a great time in that video. Please do watch it and like it. And this video is going to be about my philodendrons, and I want to rate each one that I have in my collection according to how easy care they are based on my experience. Once again, these are all just based on my experience. I'm no expert. I'm just here to share my journey with you, my plenty adventure. So I hope you guys enjoy. So we are in the bedroom, and I'm gonna be grabbing every single plant and show them to you individually as the initial plan, but I guess it depends on how heavy they are. So anyway, so I'm gonna be starting over here, and I'm gonna go around and grab each philodendron that I can find. So most of my philodendrons are in my ambient condition, but what I mean by ambient condition is in my ambient bedroom environment here. I have, according to this hygrometer, we have 67 degrees Fahrenheit and 80% humidity, relative humidity here in the bedroom, or at least here on this spot. So keep that in mind. Even though I say ambient, it's still pretty humid in here. Blabbing too much. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm gonna grab one now. This is my Philodendron Sodoroi. This is a true Sodoroi. So I have started this as a very small cutting. The first few leaves that I started with are similar to this size. As you can see, it's very, very small, and even smaller since they were at the bottom. But I really love this plant because it has sized up a lot since then, and I love it. I love the color, the silvery and red petioles on this plant. I think it is so beautiful. It's like a painting, a watercolor silver painting. This is the newest leaf, and as you can see, it's still pretty floppy and shiny. So it starts like that and it darkens into silver when it's fully hardened. And yeah, I'm waiting for a few more growth, and I think I'm gonna add another pole for this plant before I start to think about propagating it, because as you can see, the base is pretty bare already, and as it gets taller, it's gonna need a support anyway. So I wanted to add a bigger moss pole and maybe a plant stake so that it can grow massive, even bigger leaf. There's something about the Sodoroi, by far my favorite. I love the look of it. All right, so I'm gonna rate that one is a 5, no doubt about it. Okay, so and then right here I have, this is my Philodendron patriciae. So I restarted this plant basically. So this came to me as a big size, like with very lush mature leaves from Ecuagenera, from Ecuador, but it did not acclimate to my environment smoothly. So I lost each and every single leaves that it had, and I ended up chopping it into different chunks. So this one, as you can see, this is one of them that actually grew 2 heads, which is crazy and amazing because now I'm gonna have a bushy patriciae. So I have another cutting that I am growing, and so yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that and I'm gonna keep this one for myself, and it's finally showing some abs, some texture, and both head is actively growing a new leaf right now, so I cannot wait to show you guys updates on this plant, and I'm glad that it is now very happy just hanging out here. Philodendron patriciae is another 5. Actually, I'm gonna take it back. It's not 5, it's 4. I'm gonna say 4 because you might have the same trouble, and I find that more people are talking about it, having trouble with it early on, trying to acclimate it into their environment. So yeah, so that's a -1 to its rating, I think, so which is just fair. Third one is right here. This is my Philodendron tortum, which is another specimen. Actually, the one that I had originally have died. Unfortunately, it had some dry rot, and actually it didn't die completely. I have one cutting that, again, I am growing separately, and it's just from a one node, one leaf cutting. So I thought that I was gonna lose it. That's why when this one came up for sale, I just grabbed it because I really wanted to have tortum in my collection, in my philodendron collection, because yeah, it reminds me of palm trees, and I love palm trees. I'm an island girl, so yeah. Philodendron tortum, I'm gonna say 4 as well, based on my care, my own experience. So I wish that I can grow this big and lush though, so I'm not trying to give up on it just yet, because yeah, I'm willing to wait. I'm a very patient woman. And then another one that can be quite hard to care for, and I'm still trying to figure this out. This is Philodendron serpens, and I got this locally as a rehab cutting, and I already lost the leaf that it came with. And I like this particular specimen because it seems darker. Oh, I don't know what that is. It's also sticky. It's got some extra flora and nectaries going on. This also suffered, I think, from spider mites also. And this plant has very, very fuzzy and petable petioles, and it's coming up with a new leaf as well. So now I think that it is finally going to grow for me. Although this looks nasty, I'm so sorry, but that is from the EFN, I believe. I don't see any pests. I'm just gonna rinse it off after this video. But it's very happy right now, and yeah, I hope to grow this one well as well. Unfortunately, I've gotten so much trouble from this, so it's a 3. Philodendron serpens is a 3 for now. That might change later on, maybe next tour, you know. So next one is down here at the bottom. This is my variegated philodendron green Congo that I got February this year. And actually yesterday I checked on its roots because I haven't gotten a single leaf from it yet since February, since I bought it. So unfortunately, most of its soil roots, because this was fully established in its own pot and really root bound and really healthy soil roots, and I know I'm very stubborn. I should have just left it alone in the soil, but I really wanted to transfer it to pond because I'm just more comfortable caring for my plants with pond. So I did, and I found some root rots on the soil roots, obviously, but it also had a lot of nice new roots, new pond roots. So yeah, so now I moved it into a different pot because since I lost some roots, I lost a big amount of root ball, I didn't need a bigger pot for it. So you have to adjust your pots according to your root ball. So right now it seems like it's okay. It's too soon to tell, but I have a good feeling that it's going to be fine because of all those new roots that I got. I wish I took a video of that, but she's a 4 for now. Another one that I'm gonna keep an eye on and I'm gonna update you on later. But yeah, very happy to have that in my collection. Okay, next one. This next one is something that I have not shown in this channel yet, and that is because this is fairly new. I got this my birthday this year. The first leaf that it grew under my care is of course a full green. By the way, this is Philodendron Golden Dragon, variegated Golden Dragon, and yeah, I bought it for this beautiful variegation right here, and it seemed like they revert quite a lot, so I don't know why I got it. But anyways, it's always been on top of my wish list, and obviously they have been very much affordable lately compared to how it was a couple years ago. I am looking forward to the challenge that it's probably going to give me. It's already it's beat up because it seems like it's an import. I got this locally, but I have a feeling that this was imported because of its price that it's given me and the damages that it has on the leaves. As you can see, it's all like folded weirdly, and I do import a lot of plants, so I know how they look when they are damaged from imports. Anyways, I am still pretty happy to have this. Hopefully the new leaf will give me better variegation. It's right here, and I am looking forward to growing this into a large specimen because the dragon look on the mature leaves are just phenomenal, I think. So anyhow, right now, she is a 3, unfortunately, because it's so sad. The first leaf that it gives me, of course, it's fully green. After this leaf, it's kind of annoying. That happens a lot, seems like, with philodendrons. So after a few years of growing them, they get large. They get pretty large, and it gets very challenging to keep them looking beautiful, you know. So I have my fair share of struggles from this philodendron, especially from Pink Princess. Even though I get so much trouble from Pink Princess, I just can't like hate them completely. Especially this one is finally giving me some glorious pink. Oh my goodness. I started this as a very small offshoot. This particular specimen is actually from Gabriella plant's lineage, and I got this locally, and yeah, it definitely has some higher colors and speckles, splashes of pink as well. So yeah, and I do have a small offshoot that's probably not, oh, it's dried up, never mind. So these 2 leaves before the top 2 right here, as you can see, they look like someone chewed them up. But no, that wasn't the case. It was the time when I finally decided to take it out of the cabinet, and that's its response. Beautiful marbling right there. And we have another one, and it's also sizing up, so I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I know it's not like a big deal, or it's Pink Princess. Now they're like grocery store plants. I still am very much attached to those specimens that I have because we go way back. We grew up together. We are friends. Anyway, so next to it is this Philodendron Red Anderson. This one has just given me a full moon, fully pinkish white anyways. There is also another offshoot. There's offshoot at the bottom down near that I can probably separate, but I'm not gonna do that just yet. But this came from Arid Market, I believe, as part of my collaboration with them. Same case with the Pink Princess. It's behaving the same way, and this one is giving more high colors as well. But I do like the colors that it has. It's quite different from Pink Princess. As you can see, the leaves are darker. I believe this is a Philodendron White Knight and Pink Princess cross, if I'm not mistaken. I do like it. I just hope that it will grow bigger leaves. It seems to stay with the same size of leaves. So yeah, Philodendron Red Anderson is a 5 actually. It hasn't been mean to me. And Pink Princess is a 4. It can't be too perfect. It's such a prima donna, such a diva plant. So speaking of struggling Philodendron, my poor OG, this is my Philodendron Snowdrift that was one of my top philodendrons for a long time, and it finally is tanking for me. Hopefully I wasn't too late, and hopefully I was able to save this plant because I didn't want to chop it into pieces because I really like the branch. I love the long chunk. I feel like it's gonna create something beautiful later when the leaves start to mature, because the growth pattern is very short and compact. I like it to look like a tree someday, like a bonsai tree, if the chunk gets bigger and even in a more weird shape. So that's the goal for this plant. This one right here has a decent amount of sectoral green right here, which I very much enjoy. But other than that, I don't know if I can recommend Snowdrift anymore, because as you can see, I'm failing. Philodendron Snowdrift is a 3 for now. Okay, so the next one, work my way into the back because there's layers of plants on this cabinet. So the next one is, I don't know why I'm showing you this scraggly specimen, but this is supposed to be Philodendron Caramel Marble, and this was the one that I got with a rehab slightly variegated leaf, which is this one. And so far it grew a few heads, some completely reverted. Right here is one of them. Then the other head is throwing, I don't know if that's fully variegated right there. I've already lost one that is similar, has similar color to this one. And this, there is a new leaf that seems like it's serrated right there. And we have some good roots. It's algae ridden also, by the way. But that's because I was thinking of propagating this just to fix it, but I'm waiting for this leaf to come out, and I want to see how much variegation does it have, because otherwise I'm gonna let this one go. I think I already have another one that is just phenomenal. I don't need a second plant, obviously, but I want to be able to save it if it has great variegation, this new shoot. Fingers crossed, maybe, maybe not. Let's not get our hopes up. Okay, here's another struggle bus right here. I don't know what happened. Oh, it was throwing a lot of fully variegated leaves, so I propagated it. I have, I don't know, I think like 5 or 6 cuttings from this, and they've already been rooted, and it's now in soil that I am planning to purge sometime soon. And actually planning to send a few plants to my friend Jade. Shout out to Jade. This video is for you, my friend. I hope you're patient about your plants. They're coming soon, very, very soon. Anyway, so Philodendron domesticum, although they can be very, very easy, I had a great start with them. This rating is specific to the specimen that I have, which has more full variegation that I want. I'm gonna give it a 4. I just because it's still a very fast grower, very chill plant. You just have to give it support and humidity, a little bit of humidity, I think, so the new leaves won't get damaged. Okay, so right here is a combination. Actually, I wanted to show you because I never get to feature them closely, and they definitely deserve it. So I'm gonna do the hard work and show them to you. This is a combination of my Philodendron Florida Ghost and Florida Beauty, because they're both looking very leggy on their own. So together, I thought that they look better as a display, you know? Like, the goal for each of my plants is how to make them look beautiful as a plant display nonetheless. So sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and if that means they have to share a pot, that's what we're gonna do here. And it also saves space this way, and pots and substrate, because it adds up, especially how big it is, you know. So now it's in a self-watering pot as well, and they both have some new leaves. Hold on, see if I can show you even closer without damaging anything. So right there. So I have been very, very fortunate with the amount of variegation that I'm getting from both plants. Oh my god, I started this Florida Beauty from a cutting, basically a single node cutting. Very, very long story, but to make it short, it started from a cutting out of 7 that reverted. So it's the one last one, lucky number 7 cutting, and it turned out to be a beautiful specimen with stable variegation. I couldn't be more thankful and grateful that that happened, because even though they're very, very cheap nowadays, which tells you how easy they are to propagate and to grow. So yeah, if you don't have Florida Beauty or Ghost in your collection, I highly recommend them. They are 5 for me, and yeah, I think I'm always gonna have them in my collection. What else? Where are you, philodendrons? Ooh, this is another philodendron. This is Philodendron Plaumanii, and this was part of my, I think, Green Spaces ID import 3 years ago, and I propagated it as well. I have chopped it into multiple cuttings. I have more in the house somewhere, and this is the one I'm keeping, I think, because it is just so adorable. I don't mind. It's in pond with no drainage. I mean, no drainage hole, but I do have leca at the bottom that serves as my reservoir, and so far so good. And I think it's really cute. I love the specimen that I have is more round and silvery, and it's got a prominent bumps like muscles. Hopefully I can grow them back. Next one is my melanochrysum, and I have chopped my mother plant of my Milano because it has grown too tall, and as it grew it also lost its maturity. Unfortunately, it was getting smaller and smaller, so I have propagated it. Now another one that I need to get rid of, I have like a ton of propagation, melanochrysum propagation, that nobody wants really anymore, which I completely understand because it's very hard. So there's actually two cuttings in this pot. I've chopped it, as you can see from here, from the top. This is the cut, this is the bottom cut right here, and the top cuts right here is attached to the moss pole. And I do add fertilizer when I water my moss pole, so it's getting its nutrient from the moss only and not from the substrate, because it's chopped from the main root system. So yeah, but so far it has sprouted a few heads. There might be, how many? One, I don't know. They each have at least three, I think. Like a lot of the nodes basically sprouted. So now I am stuck with a lot of baby leaves right there, but I can see that it's also sizing up right there. You see, this is another new leaf from one of the heads, and as you can see from the shape, it's not fully hardened, so it's about to get bigger again. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna keep both cuttings in this pot and we'll see what happens. And I'm just gonna chop and extend when it gets to that point. So yeah, very, very cool when they are huge and mature. So I really love the mature shape of this plant, just because it's very hard to grow them and to have a mature look to their foliage. I'm gonna rate it a 4 only. Yeah, so please don't be mad. I still love you. Just be kind. Be kind to your mama. My next philodendron is my Philodendron splendid, which, as you can see, has grown very tall, and I have recently repotted this plant in this video, and I've actually combined two of my philodendron pots just to create a fuller moss pole right there. So each pot also has their own pole, so they're not like trying to fight over a pole. So I have two separate poles in there for two plants, but one pole actually has two vines in there as well. And I really wanted that look, the lush, velvety heart shape look right there. So this satisfies my dark velvety type that I really, really enjoy. So because of this plant, by the way, this is Philodendron splendid and very, very hardy. It's been through different pests like thrips and spider mites or whatever, I feel like, and it seems to still grow beautifully. So you can see some spider mite damages here and there, but you can't hardly see it, only if you get closer, you know. Majority of the growth are really healthy and dark, and it's just outstanding. Such a beautiful plant. I definitely highly recommend this one. This one is a keeper. So as you can see, there's still room for one more pole, and as far as the other top right there that it's gonna be growing out of the pole, I'm just gonna cut it just to wait on the rest of the vines to catch up. And I really don't mind a smaller foliage in the mix anyway. I think it's a nice addition to the pole. The lush look is not so bad with different sizes of leaves right there. So the next one I wanted to show you is a cousin to Philodendron Splendid, and this one is the hybrid between Philodendron gloriosum and Philodendron melanochrysum. This is the Philodendron glorious. It's similar to Splendid, but a little more difficult, I believe, and sticky. And because it produces a lot more extraflora nectaries as well, it's attracting more pests than my other philodendrons, I feel like, and definitely always have something going on with this plant. So I think I'm going to get rid of it. I've already propagated this. I started this, by the way, with a one leaf cutting back two years ago already, and I've been trying to make it size up, but I'm not doing a very good job, as you can see, and every single leaf has some kind of damage or holes or wonky shape. I don't know. It keeps growing though. It seems like it's a fast grower, but I guess I'm just not helping it enough, I think. I don't know. I don't know, but I think Glorious is a 3, unfortunately, in my book, because yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep Splendid. If I have to keep one velvety philodendron, dark philodendron in my collection, that would be my Splendid for obvious reasons, and I'm willing to get rid of my melanochrysum and Glorious because they all look similar anyways. So the next one is, I have not shown this one either. That is because this is a new import from Ecuagenera. I am making another video all about that with updates, so keep an eye on that, guys. So this plant right here is the Verrucosum Amazon Sunset, as they call it, and it's a type of verrucosum with extremely red back that I am obsessed with. I got this plant with 2 leaves and I've already lost that one, and this is the import leaf right there, and this is my new leaf right here. Oh my god, I am obsessed. I cannot believe that this one is still alive, to be honest. So for the longest time, I have been just letting this go, like wanting it. It's in my wish list forever. But when I was researching about it, I found out how difficult it is to acclimate into your environment, and they usually never thrive. So there's so many difficulties basically that I've heard from other people and how they care for them. So I was afraid, but now I am up for the challenge because I really want a good red back in my collection, and this is definitely it if I can just keep it going, keep it alive. And I don't need a whole lot of leaves either. I just want a specimen with a few leaves, few healthy leaves on it, and I think it just does it for me. Absolutely gorgeous emergent new leaf right there, kind of neon green, and then it fades into a darker green, and this looks lighter right now, but because of my ring light, I believe. But this is very, I think I love it. I love the texture of verrucosum. I have the regular verrucosum as well that doesn't ever size up either, so that one is, I'm not even gonna show you that one because it's not worth seeing. So far I guess I cannot rate this one either because it's too soon and I've only had it for probably a month, not even. So far so good though, because I have a new leaf completely under my condition, at least in my greenhouse cabinet. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. So I'm gonna go grab my other philodendrons from the other room. Not much, I believe. The next philodendron in my collection that I wanted to share with you is this philodendron. This is ATC, variegated philodendron biliaceae, and I started this with very little leaves, and it still has pretty juvenile leaves, but as you can see, it's starting to give me lobes, bunny ears. As you can see, this is the newest leaf under my care, and I have grown 3 leaves that are more elongated, starting to look like a real billy, and I absolutely love the variegation on this one, and I couldn't afford the bigger specimen, the non-TC one, so I figured it was worth a shot, and I'm so glad I did. My goodness, so far so good. It has not skipped a beat for me. It's in pond. It's still in very little pot right there. It's probably due for an upsize just because all this aerial root are coming out of the top of the pot already. So I am so in love with this. Look at this little heart-shaped leaf that is cupped and half moon variegated. Every single leaf has some kind of half moon situation in its variegation, and I'm here for it. I am so happy that it turned out great for this plant for me, and oh my goodness, it's so far it's worth it. This plant is worth it, and they are definitely coming down in prices as well. It's getting more and more affordable, and this is to show you that do not be afraid of tissue cultured plants, because sometimes it can turn into a beautiful specimen, and this looks very stable, so I'm very happy with it. Definitely a 5-star philodendron, variegated philodendron biliaceae. So the next one on my list of philodendrons is this philodendron whippleway, and this one is in my dream plant haul as well, and I got this fairly cheap, I think $60. I grew this leaf in my cabinet, and it is coming in with a new leaf right there, as you can see. Can you? Where is it? Oh, there, right here. Right there, there is a new growth spike right there. If I can find like a liner that fits perfectly into a reservoir, I would use it, because I prefer the wick rope than no drainage because it's easier for maintenance. You know, it's easier to clean the vessel. You don't have to repot or uproot the whole thing just to clean the vessel, because it can be really algae ridden, which is the downside of growing in pond or in semi-hydro. So there's a lot of algae situation that you have to deal with, that you can, or you don't have to deal with it, because it really doesn't damage the plant. It doesn't, just the aesthetic, and it doesn't bother me as much as it used to anymore. But if I can help it, like I said, wick rope is the way to go, and I'm gonna rate it as a 5 because I've grown 1 and it's growing fine. So there's another one more leaf coming. Yeah, we're good. We are good. So the next philodendron is this very wonky and weird. This is actually a philodendron majestic, and I have just given up on trying to grow it in a moss bowl because it was pretty leggy constantly. I was having a hard time trying to size it up. Majestic is a hybrid between Soleroy and Veracosum, I believe. So this was imported from Green Spaces ID in Indonesia, I believe. And I have sold and given away a bunch of cuttings from this because this is very, very fast grower, but not very fast in growing its foliage. Looks like Brantianum. Since I can't grow Brantianum, I figured I'll just turn this into a Brantianum, which actually looks better than Brantianum now. So I'm growing this as a trailing plant and I don't care. I love it. So I think that's all that matters. Now it's on my living room shelf. It's sitting on the front shelf, you know, on display because it's finally looking beautiful. Wonky but beautiful. Majestic, my way, it's 5-star. I had a hard time at first, but it's an easygoing plant. I just lack the ability to care for it, I believe. So I am to blame, not the plant. Majestic, 5 stars for me. So the next one is probably one of my top 5 favorite philodendron of all time, and that is because of its amazing, gorgeous foliage. Oh my god, I cannot believe to this day that I have this in my collection now. This used to be very hard to attain because of its price tag. Very hefty price tag. Look at that gorgeousness right there. But I have finally grown my first leaf, and it's this one. It is beautifully serrated right there, and it's got some splashy something. It's on fire in the best possible way, I think. I just love the foliage on this caramel marble, and I wish to get more of this sectoral variegation like so. But yeah, I am very happy with this plant. It's also algae ridden. Apart from that, you can see roots down there, so I am probably going to repot this because I can see some roots on the top as well. It's trying to crawl out of the pot, so I'm getting ready to repot this and move this outside of the cabinet. So for now, it's still in the cabinet, and that's because I don't want to lose this plant. I'm just being extra careful just in case. And yeah, so far so good. Philodendron caramel marble is 5-star. Very beautiful, very beautiful plant. Okay, so the next one is my Philodendron green Congo, variegated green Congo, or I don't know exactly what is the ID of this philodendron, but I got this as a local nursery find, and the variegation is very similar to black cardinal. You know what I mean? Like, it's got that variegation because I have a green Congo, variegated green Congo, and it's nowhere near this kind of variegation. So it's very different. So if you guys can help me ID this particular plant, that would be great because it's looking wonderful so far. There are multiple plant in the pot, but I think there's only one with this kind of variegation, if that is even a variegation. So what do you guys think? I don't know. It's still in its original substrate, which is soil from nursery, and I am going to repot it pretty soon because I want to separate it from the rest of the plants in there. And yeah, I just want to see what's going on and what kind of philodendron this is really. So if you could help me out, that would be great. And so for now, I'm going to call it variegated green Congo something. So far it's a 5-star because I think it is wonderful. I don't mind a new specimen, especially if it's a sport find, basically. So yeah, I paid $25.99 for that. All right, we're getting close to, I think there's a couple more, but think I'm gonna take you to them because, yeah, so that you can see where they reside as well. Here's another philodendron that is just hanging by itself in this corner. I got this as a free cutting that I've chopped it into multiple cuttings to make a full pot. But yeah, I think it's a silver stripe, but yeah, it's just hanging in there. 5-star for sure. Right across it is in this corner facing east, so it's got some eastern morning exposure. This is the philodendron gloriosum right here. Gloriosum is a crawling philodendron, and this is one of my OGs. It actually has a sport variegation right there as well, and some, I don't know what that is, edema, I think, maybe. But yeah, it's just chilling. This is the newest leaf. It's finally sizing up right there. I think this is just a regular gloriosum, but I absolutely adore it. I love that it's just chilling in there. It's looking better now, better than ever. Yeah, Philodendron gloriosum is a 5-star. I think it's a classic philodendron that is absolutely gorgeous in its own way. Last but not the least, this is my philodendron Spiritus Sancti that I started as a rehab, very 2-leaf, small leaf cutting. I got this from Harry. You can find him on Palm Street as Plant Zeri Therapy. But anyways, I finally am reaching the mature size, mature look with the beautiful lobes right there. So my Spiritus Sancti seem to be darker in color and thicker than most of the Spiritus Sancti that I'm seeing lately. I'm not quite sure if mine was a TC, by the way, and it has a new leaf as well right there. So that's what it looks like. It's got reddish hint to it, and yeah, so far it's sizing up quite a lot. Very vigorous grower. I definitely recommend a good Spiritus Sancti. I love mine, so it's right here on display, front row. You guys, it's definitely one of the best philodendrons out there in my opinion, and I absolutely love it. Once again, Philodendron Spiritus Sancti, 5-star all the way. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope you had a great time. If you did, please tell me you had a great time, because I try my best to come up with these videos. I know it can be a little corny sometimes. It's really cringy even for me. I cannot rewatch my videos. But anyways, if you had a great time, do give it a thumbs up. It really helps me a lot with the algorithm. And then do subscribe in my channel. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers this year. That is my goal for this channel, and I have so many goals for this channel, you guys. I really need your help. I just want to do this for a living. I am having a great time, and I get to stay home with my plants, take care of my plants for a living. Please do make my dream job come true by just following along with my journey, hitting the subscribe button while you're at it, and thank you so much for all your support. I wouldn't be here without you, and I really appreciate every single one of you, and I hope to see you on my next video. Bye!